Today we're going to be looking at some of the fixes in the new 27GB
It's so big.
patch for Mortal Kombat 1 on the Nintendo Switch. You're going to see some comparison shots and in-game footage. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So let's start with some of the good news first. For starters, it looks like Johnny Cage can finally make expressions with his face, whereas before he had like a weird emotionless face that never moved, kind of like mine, you know. We can see that in the intro and in the outro as well, so those Johnny Cage memes, you could put them to bed now. Or not. Reptile's weird mouth glitch has also been fixed. Before this patch, whenever Reptile was in his animal form, his teeth and gums would go through his mouth and it just looked really effed up. But that was finally fixed, so you Reptile fans can finally play him in peace. According to some good people on GameFAQs, Jean-Claude Van Damme's hair is now the color that it's supposed to be instead of white. I don't have that skin myself, so I can't actually take footage of it for you guys, so I guess you're just gonna have to take my word for it. With this new patch, the recent balance changes were included, so that means that Sub-Zero has finally been nerfed on the Nintendo Switch version of Mortal Kombat 1. He no longer does as much damage as he used to. For example, a 400 damage combo before will now only do about 200 or so. I put this in the good news section because that is good news, at least to me. That character has too much BS that he could do. Brutalities are now no longer as badly glitched as they were before, but they are still glitched. The video on the left is a pre-patch brutality, and the video on the right is post-patch. It's the same Liu Kang brutality, and the new version still seems glitched. Here we see a brutality where there was no glitch at all, so it seems that brutalities in MK1 for the Switch are still glitched, but not as much as before. Like sometimes they glitch, sometimes they won't, whereas before every brutality I saw was always glitched. Going to the pause menu from a local match or training mode is now slightly faster. Costumes and gear upgrades can now be used in rank mode, so that's a major plus. The announcer now also says flawless victory. All of Invasion's mode is now available, whereas before only the introduction to it was playable. Now you can go past Johnny Cage's mansion. Overall performance during online matches does feel somewhat improved. Now let's get to the not so good news, the bad news. Not all is sunshine and roses for this patch. While a lot of things were fixed, some of the major issues are still prevalent. Most importantly, the super long loading times before a match and during rematches are still here. So clearly something major is going on if they were not able to cut this down. I know in their Twitter page they said that loading times were improved, but if they were, they're not very noticeable improvements, which is unfortunate because this really is the #1 big issue with this game. So if you were holding out on buying this game until loading times are significantly improved, then unfortunately this patch is not for you. It still takes time for your characters to appear in the character selection screen, and even just selecting your character can take time as the system struggles to keep up while you're cycling through characters. So that is still an issue. The Cyrax fatality still cuts to a black screen and does not work. There are still some jittering and screen tearing issues in the cutscenes for the story mode. The stretchy clothes glitch is still here, and I know NetherRealm says that there were some visual improvements, and maybe there were, but honestly I don't really see them. If there were any improvements to the graphics, then they were very minor because, like I said, I don't see them aside from glitch fixes like with Reptile and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Overall, I'm happy that we finally got something. I agree with Double OG here where he said that it's a step in the right direction, and it definitely is. You know, it's pretty big progress, and like I said a few videos ago, I never expected this game to be fixed in one single patch, so I think we still got a ways to go. Like I said, those loading times abso-freaking-lutely need to be addressed, and hopefully that's what we get in the next patch. The game is still a blast to play, and I look forward to really digging into the patch when I get more time. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more combo tutorials, online matches, and video game news. I'm Switchplayed. Done.